Alright, so let's look at another example of an ellipse. And in this ellipse we want to find the minor axis, the major axis, the foci and the vertices. The ellipse with this equation. Right. So whenever you have an ellipse like this which isn't sort of in standard form, first thing you do is to complete the square. Right, so in fact we have two squares to complete, one for x and one for y. Right, so if you complete the square and write it in standard form, you get the equation x minus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared over 4 over 9 equals 1. Right. So you should practice doing this yourself. Right. Just take all the x terms, take out whatever common factors you can. Do the same for the y terms and complete the squares and write it in this standard form. Right. Right, so let's call this A. Right, this is our ellipse A. So now we're going to look at an ellipse which is similar to this one, except that it is truly in standard form. In other words, its major and minor axes are the x and the y axes. Right, so we're going to look at the following ellipse. X squared over 4 plus y squared over 9 is equal to 1. Right. Let's call this B. Right. If we look at this ellipse, right, because there's a relationship between ellipses A and B. If we take A and we just shift it 1 unit in the positive x direction and 2 units in the negative y direction, then we get A. Right. So we're going to find all the features for A and for B, and then we're just going to shift them so that they become the features for A. Right, so for B, right, so this ellipse is going to be of the form y squared over b squared over a squared plus x squared over b squared is 1. Right? So just looking at the equation, we see that a is 3, b is 2, and then the foci will be at 0 plus or minus c, where c squared is a squared minus b squared. Right, so that in this case, it gives us c is root 5. Right, so our foci would be at 0 plus or minus root 5. Right, so the vertices, right, is given by a. Right, so what will the vertices be? Well, at 0 plus or minus a. Right. Of course, our major axis, right, would be the one on which the vertices and the foci lie. So that would be the y-axis. So that's x equals 0. And the minor axis would be y equals 0. Right, so we found the foci, the vertices, the major and the minor axes for ellipse B. Right. So now to find those features for ellipse A, all we have to do is to shift them 1 unit in the positive x direction, 2 units in the negative y direction. Right, the minus 1 and the plus 2 tell us how to shift things. Minus 1 was the x here, tells you 1 unit in the positive x direction. Plus 2 with the y tells you 2 units in the negative y direction. Right, so now let's see what do the features for A look like. Well, the foci for B are at 0 plus or minus root 5, so we're going to shift them 1 unit in the positive x direction and 2 units in the negative y direction. So that becomes 1 minus 2 plus or minus root 5, right? And now for the vertices, we're going to take 0 plus or minus 3, shift them 1 unit in the positive x direction, 2 units in the negative y direction. So it gives us 1, 1, and 1 minus 5. Right? And of course, the major axis, x equals 0, we're just going to shift 1 unit in the positive x direction. Right? So that's going to be x equals 1. And the minor axis, y equals minus 2. We just take the minor axis for B, which is y equals 0, and shift it 2 units down. Right. So now let's try and sketch this parabola, or this ellipse rather. So let's just write this equation. Over there, so we remember. Right. It's the x, the y axis. So let's first sketch in the major and the minor axes. Then x equals 1. There we have x equals 1. There's y equals minus 2. Right? And now the vertices are at 1, 1. So there we have the 1 versus 1, 1. And at 1 minus 5. 3, 4, 5. So there's our other vertex. 1 minus 5. Right, we can put in the foci as well. So there's the one focus, would be at 1 minus 2 plus root 5. And there's the other one, would be at 1 minus 2 minus root 5. That's a rough sketch. Would be something like that. Right, so you could also include the intercepts with the minor axes. If you make y equals minus 2, then this equation will tell you that x is 1 plus or minus 2. So x is 3 or x is minus 1. So here x is 3, y is minus 2, there x is minus 1, y is minus 2. Right. So there we have all the information for this ellipse. Right. So we always complete the square to get this equation, and then look at this ellipse. Find its features and then shift them to find the features for your original ellipse. Alright.